between theater and movies is that there is a live audience in the room with live performers, and I would challenge that if the actors are not in communication with the audience, then they're not doing theater. I feel like one of the primary messages of the play is that we're all in this together. That our work toward our own personal healing is really entangled in each other's personal healing. Our work for freedom is bound up with each other's work for freedom.
Audiences vary, and there are some audiences who are who come to the theater wanting to deeply engage. And there's a lot of people who come to the theater who want to have a film-like experience. And so I think those two experiences and expectations are often sometimes in the room together. So I think one of the things that like we talk about in the rehearsal room is how to really hold the space such that there is space for everyone to actually feel a sense of authentic welcome. The circular nature of the stage, I think, was obviously very intentional and really thinking about the ways in which this particular production, and I think productions that have in general like meant a lot to me, have thought about the power of circle, which is to say that I can see the other people inside of this experience with me, that we're not trying to create this private and dark, intimate space where, oh, I get to be in a cocoon. That's a valuable experience. That's like what you get at the movies where the lights go out and it's really dark but that I'm interested in the congregational nature of what a circle does inside of storytelling.
This is one of the few theaters, I mean, there are a few theaters that are in community centers in the Twin Cities, but this is like the only one that I know of where the people who live around it actually patronize the theater, actually come and sit in the seats and watch the plays. And I think it is because they feel welcome here.
What happened in that production that I feel like I heard over and over again was I came and got what I didn't know I needed. And it became a place where people could laugh, where people could scream, where people could cry. And I think that so oftentimes, because of the medical industrial complex, because of systemic oppression and racism, because of all of these pressures about what healing is supposed to be in community, has named it as something individual. And I think that production stood up and said, you're allowed to have your own individual experience, but at the end of the day, if we are not examining and creating the container and the possibility for collective healing, then I'm not sure that we have answered the call that is so necessary right now, as I think many of us are talking about what does healing look like.
Sydney already talked about, you could laugh and you could cry, but you could also sing and dance. And for Black people, music and movement are technology that we use for survival, and to create a space, especially in such close proximity to that event, where people could come and together express grief in kind of non-traditional ways, I think was really important and transformative.
Part of the struggle in our particular industry as well was that there was such a strong grip of power concentrated by white cisgendered men for the most part on the levers of the American theater for so long, that when it came time to share the leadership, pass the baton, give over the keys to folks who look more like Amy and I, the stuff was broken. We are in a moment of time, I think, in history where a whole layer of arts and culture, a whole layer of our social fabric around arts and culture is deteriorating and is eroding. And my fear and concern is that some of that erosion is being laid at the feet of Black women who inherited dysfunctional organizations. Mm-hmm. So I'm also sort of, so you asked, what am I doing? I'm also trying to be thoughtful and critical and mindful about the ecosystem beyond just the one ecosystem that we're accountable to here in South Minneapolis.
We're expanding our physical space to accommodate more artists of color and otherwise, gender identities, all of that, to train as theater technicians.